My name is Alyssa Mahadeo, journalist and community reporter, and I dedicate my time to searching for the stories that matter the most. Positive, uplifting, and inspiring stories that spotlight the challenges and obstacles we conquer to become the people who we are today. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of all the fairy tale lifestyles that people seem to be living on social media. Girl, you did not wake up like that. I'm interested in the genuine connections, the honest opinions, and the real uncut version of your true self. This show is about keeping it 100% real, deconstructing who we are and what we're all about. Join me as we sit down with individuals to discuss the personal struggles, the many challenges, and the moments that define us on this journey of self-discovery. Let's be real, life isn't fair and people make mistakes, but every opportunity is a learning experience. Let's discover the truth together right here on Real Talk. Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Real Talk every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. here on TCN. Guys, thank you again for joining us for another episode. You know, I really enjoy having you guys come out. It's like you guys come here, like specifically. But thank you for tuning into the network. I know I follow In the Now, and Simone drops some serious knowledge on different things, current events, and some cool new technology that they've got coming out. I kind of watched a little bit of her show, and I was like, well, guy, I didn't even know all these things are happening. But very, very interesting stuff. So today on the show, we are going to be covering some important things that are currently going on in the community and also in the student community specifically. So today on the show, I kind of want to open the show with a little bit about education and the importance of university and college educations. I know we kind of live in a world today where people are kind of like, should I go to school? Do I need to go to school? Is this relevant? And I know that a lot of entrepreneurs will tell you that school is kind of irrelevant at this point in life, because it's all about the life experience that you get. It's all about the things that you can learn on the street. So like when Pollyanna was here, we talked about the importance of street cred, and just having your name out there and branding yourself in a way that people are going to know who you are and also see you as a person of authority. But we're talking at it from the perspective of those career paths where you kind of need that formal education and training to kind of really understand what your craft is and also to perfect it. Because if you don't have the fundamental basics, you can't do that. And for a career like mine, I don't really think I needed university education. It was more for the prestige of getting one. It wasn't really because it's like, no, I really need this. But I do appreciate some of the things that I did learn in university, and just the hands-on experience that I was able to gain, and also some of in the field projects that we worked on, because those were really helpful because they kind of helped me in my day-to-day work that I do now. There were like matter relevant courses that we did in school, and we won't even talk about them because they weren't even good. I was like, why is this here? Is it because I need 6 credits to graduate? And while they weren't, again, there was no importance on them, but I think that even if you don't go to university or college after high school, it's really great to even take on other courses that will kind of help you to further whatever it is that you're trying to do. Because think about it, unless you can get that formal training on your own, having someone who is a professional already or who is a mentor and can teach you kind of what you need to know in order to get by really, really helps. I remember too, when I was in school, there was nothing, like people never used to focus on having a mentor. That was not something where people were just like, oh, we should talk about how you should go out and seek people who are in the field and, shadow them. It wasn't really called the same things. They would encourage it if you were going into a trade or you need that kind of hands-on experience on something. But the importance of mentorship was kind of just, who is your role model? They would never ask you to like seek out someone to like help you. So that's something that, has kind of happened that is kind of now being instilled in the next generation of students who are in high school and are headed towards university. So today, specifically on the show, we are going to be talking with a student-led grassroots organization called Black Physicians of Tomorrow. Today on the show, we're going to have Kimberly Ben and Philippa Baden. They are the executive director and administrative director of the Black Physicians of Tomorrow. And today they're going to be talking about how their organization is going to be working to help provide support, guidance, and opportunities to Black students preparing to enter medical school. So today we've got a really great conversation coming up. Make sure that you stay tuned, and if you have any questions, make sure that you comment in our feed or send us a tweet using the hashtag Real Talk TCN. So we will be right back.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back. You're watching Real Talk, and I am joined by our guests for today, Philippa and Kimberly. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show today. I know you guys are coming all the way from Durham region, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So they are they're the organization founders.
Yeah, there's one more.
There's one more.
Yeah.
But they came up with the idea for the Black Physicians of Tomorrow. So just to give people a little bit of kind of information on what this organization is about and kind of how it started. Do you want to share that with us?
Yeah. Take it. Sure. So, Black Physicians of Tomorrow, it's an organization that exists to support African, Caribbean descendant Canadian students who are interested in pursuing a career in medicine or the allied health professions. And the way that we came about was just through being a support a community, a club on campus, and it kind of expanded and grew into an organization.
Right. Yeah. So you guys were sitting down one day, and this this idea kind of came to you.
Well, I think we all had our own experiences.
Okay.
In university and some in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't get that support you need from campus, and not that there isn't, there are, but I guess one that really will work for us.
Yeah.
And students trying to pursue careers in these fields weren't really there. So then we like, oh, let's start this. So yeah, so we had our own challenges. It's the reason why we started this club organization, say.
So tell me a little bit about your backgrounds. What kind of career paths were you guys looking into in, let's just say, starting in high school?
I've always wanted to be a doctor. I don't know why. I think I knew that eventually, like, just seeing how interested I was in, like, biology, chemistry, and those kind of subjects, I realized, okay, there's nothing wrong with actually intending to pursue that kind of career. And then I realized, into university, how much work and the tremendous amount of studying and, focusing to get those grades that you need. Did I kind of question, like, is this the field for me? Can I do it? And I think also not really seeing a lot of people of color in the white coats or just in areas that I would be exposed to, like, doctors. I found it a bit interesting to, like, change that narrative for me. Maybe I can be that one in my family or that one Black woman in my, like, clinic or wherever I would work to kind of break those grounds and barriers. So I think fourth year I was like, I can still pursue this, and it'll be challenging. It'll be a lot of hard work, but I do love that, I guess, a privilege to serve the community in that way, and I'm still continuing.
And what about you, Philippa?
For me, I've always, like Kim, always wanted to be a doctor. I actually want to be a surgeon, cardiac or neurosurgeon. So in high school, I've always had that. But as Kim said, in university, it's so much different, You do get to see so many other things in healthcare other than doctors or dentists or pharmacists, right? So I think I was enrolled in a program called Comprehensive Health. So it was everything. And then later I decided to go into nursing because I felt...
Because everyone goes into nursing.
Yeah. So I went into nursing because first the program I was in before, there weren't as much jobs out there for us. You would have to go, like, graduate school. And I told them, I'm going to go into nursing and then work my way up into med school or whatever else I'll find interesting. So that was my story. Things do change from high school to university. So yeah, when you're there.
So when you were having kind of the conversations with guidance counselors or with even, like, friends and family, what kind of advice did they give you when you were saying, I'm considering taking a career or going into a career in the medical field?
So I have a different story. My mom worked 2 jobs and just sacrificed a lot for me to go to a private school. And I can understand why now, because there is the streamline sometimes that a lot of minority students, Black students, can relate to, that maybe it's not intended, but I think when a guidance counselor has experienced many times maybe a student is struggling in a certain area, they assume that all Black students now will struggle in academic-based courses, so let's just,
it's a prejudice.
So let's just put them in applied courses. So as I said, it was a privilege to go to a private school where I didn't have that experience. My guidance counselor was really supportive of my, passion to pursue medicine and encouraged me and said, yeah, you're going to have to take all academic. You can do it, Kim, really encouraged me. But I know that's not the case for every high school student right now.
For me, again, my case is also different. So part of my schooling, my early part of schooling was in Ghana, where I was taking to after a while. And so I schooled there. So I never really had that limitations of what I could aspire to be. So I've always known I wanted to be a surgeon. I've always been encouraged because, the people around me were also Black like I am, right? And so they were doing great things. Everything there is being run by them. And so I never saw anything like, oh my gosh, you are black and you're going to be doing that. I never had that perspective or issues. But then fast forward, I came into high school here, and I think that was still not my, I guess, my issue. I wasn't being streamlined into, and even if I were, I probably didn't even know that. But I guess because of my perspective from in Ghana, if a guidance counselor told me, oh, don't take this, maybe you should take this, I never interpreted it as I can't do it. I interpret it as I have to work harder. Okay. But I understand that some people that have grown up here, will have a different perception of that because they're always being told, you can't do it, or they don't see themselves in these specialties. For me, it's different, like Kim said.
Yeah.
Different experiences.
I mean, I could definitely speak to that. I maybe went and sat with my guidance counselor only a couple of times, and it wasn't until like my final year of high school where I even had a relationship with them. Right. And again, that's even something important to let other high school students know, that I feel like your guidance counselor should be there to, offer advice, but at the end of the day, it's your decision.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
I think that they should really have a conversation with the student to understand where that student's trying, like their interests, what they're really passionate about, and then like help because there's going to be subjects that it's hard. I know maths and physics and stuff, we're always trying to, it would be difficult for me to get those concepts right away, but I still took the academic courses with the support of my guidance counselor, knowing that I wanted to pursue this type of career. So if you get the students understanding of like, oh, they're passionate about this career, even though it's going to be challenging to go into that subject, but like really have them, I guess, be pushed towards it, like not like deter them from it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've even spoken to that experience myself, where I was kind of the person who also wanted to be in all the academic courses. Right. Again, coming from a West Indian background, my parents were like, you can't be in applied.
Right. Oh, I know that one.
You can't be in applied. You're going to university. And I was like, and I kind of always had that in the back of my mind.
Right.
So I was like, oh my God, I have to make sure my marks are really, really high so that I'm in academic courses. And then having the grades to get into academic courses was a whole other thing. Right. And I always remember it too, like I never got the attention that I needed when it came to science and math.
Right. Okay. Right.
I was never good at science and math though, so it wasn't like I really enjoy.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Like I really enjoy science and math, so I need to make sure that I'm able to get it. And I was like, I recognized early that, not even early, I recognized that maybe a little bit late, but I was kind of in grade 12 by the time I realized. I was like, why am I still taking science? Like, I need this. Right? And it was it's just because I kind of wanted to make sure that I had all bases covered.
Right. And to add to that, actually in high school, I was taking some, I think, C-level courses. But I didn't even know taking those courses meant you can only go to college.
Really?
I had no idea until I think I got to grade 12 or grade 11 or something, and we were talking about university level courses. And I'm like, I want to go to university. And they're like, oh, well, you're in the C, you're in the apply, so you couldn't. Yeah. So then I actually had to do another year to get my U courses. So there is that, I guess, miscommunication between, I guess, the school and the student themselves. Because really, sometimes they don't even know. They're just taking it because they have to or whatever. But I think that's why we're here too.
I will also add to your point that I think certain careers, you don't need to go to university to be successful. And so if you don't need those university programs, or you can just go through college and take the college level courses, Don't stress yourself out. But for some people who, were interested in pursuing those like post-secondary programs, you have to go to university. Then you get encouraged, like find your friends, family, like really get the support you need, because
no, that's really, really important. I don't know how we're doing on time, Anisha, but I think we should maybe take a break. So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna kind of continue some more on this conversation of going into what STEM programs are, because I know a lot of people aren't really kind of sure what the linguists are right now. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more about that. So we'll be right back.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back. You're watching Real Talk, and today on the show I have two lovely ladies from the Black Physicians of Tomorrow, a student-run organization out of Durham region, and they are working to kind of help foster the education and the support of students who are looking to go into STEM-related programs. So what is STEM? Let's talk a little bit about that, because I think it's very new that a lot of people are kind of talking about what STEM is now.
Right.
And STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yeah.
Right? So these are all things that when I think about, I get scared. Because I'm like, no, I am a journalist. I know how to write. But these are all things that are kind of the fundamentals of our society now,
Right.
where that's how technology continues to evolve because of like research and studies in science, different technology, like new technology, engineering, how things work. And it's so very interesting to see that a lot of students, and I say students of color, don't consider career options in those paths. So what is the Black Physicians of Tomorrow working to do with STEM?
So STEM is just this new industry that's booming, and as you mentioned before, technology is a big way that we function as a society right now.
Yeah.
And we wanted to really then, I guess, focus our program on that shift and make sure that our students who that we're supporting are really prepared for that job industry, that market that they're going into. So I would say STEM is not just the typical science and stuff that you learn in class. It's a little bit more interesting and fascinating. And some people who are, all these different type of research that's going on that, you hear about these different things you might see on your Instagram feed or Facebook. Those stories that are coming out, they have a lot to do with STEM. So we ourselves, I had an opportunity as well to work in the Institute for Biomaterials and Biomedical Engineering. And at U of T, they have that program where students are exposed to just this whole field that I never even understood or knew about before.
Yeah.
And as I said, it's so fascinating because you're kind of mixing a world of science, but also the engineering and technology aspect of it, and meshing the two together because of the way that our world is evolving. And hand in hand, it gives us a chance to cover so much more like diseases or change the face of medicine and have such a impact on like many people that, before the things that we're doing now with cell phones and apps and stuff, they didn't have that before, maybe 30 or 40 years ago. So we're really growing as a society because of STEM.
Right. I know that STEM is also trying to introduce the kind of the programs that they're looking to implement, or even like the career paths they're looking to pursue in the future. Because I spoke earlier this year to this team of people who had I think they were kids from the age of from grade 5 to maybe grade 8, and they're all working on a robotics competition. So this is really cool way to introduce them into engineering, because when else are you really introducing yourself into engineering?
Yeah.
Right? There's no course in school that allows you to like do really cool projects like that, because it involves a lot of things. But what they had done was they partnered with a university, and I think it was the University of Ryerson, and they were able to work with the older students who kind of already have that experience to build things, to build their ideas, to see their like ideas come to life.
Yeah.
And that was really, really cool to me because I had heard from the organizers of this team that the students who were exposed to it or who had the opportunity to work on the project all started to consider what it would be like to go into a career in engineering.
Right. Yeah, that's what we, I guess, hope to as well, because the importance of having students exposed to those careers now opens up their world. And they didn't, as I said, I never considered bioengineering or whatever. I never even understood what that meant. Really. There's only these typical careers here, doctors, lawyers, and you know the staples, but there's a really cool industry that's, you know, as I said, is booming, and we hope that our students through our program will also get some exposure to those fields, like you were saying.
And hopefully pursue careers in them.
Sure. Of course.
Because like him, there's so many things. And when we started, it was more like increasing the diversity in medicine. But now we are branched out to allied health. So it's everything medicine, so doctor and then allied health. So that part, I think we are addressing it by this STEM initiative and then encouraging students that there are also these things here. Because they're good at so many things, right? They're engineering students. There are people that are good at math. I am terrible at math. People that are good in bio. Some are good at, chemistry and stuff. And we do want them to utilize that knowledge that they have and then actually work using, encourage them to use that and finding what their strengths are in this program and then encouraging them to pursue, careers in the STEM field.
Yeah, because there's so many different fields that you can specialize in now, right? It's kind of where do you want to dedicate the most of your time?
Right. Exactly. And for some people, I know, with doctors, you think of blood and needles and working with patients, but there's some doctors who literally just dedicate their career to doing research. In terms of STEM. And they're meshing the concepts from engineering with science and biology and stuff like that to come up with medical devices to work on their patients. Maybe they're not the ones operating, but they're behind the scenes doing all this incredible work
to make doctors' lives easier. Exactly, right? And I never understood that until when I was in high school. I had a lot of friends that were going into the health sciences field. I think that's a really popular program that everyone's like, well, what do I want to do after university or after high school? We're going into health sciences. And I maybe have 3 friends that are still kind of in that field. But a lot of them kind of switched out because they realized after, they're like, okay, first of all, it's a lot of work. Second of all, maybe this is not what we really wanted to do long term. Maybe we were looking to do more of, again, research lab assistant type role. And while you still need to have that same kind of education, because again, it's the same kind of it's the same kind of ideas that you're kind of working with, but you're just
the basics.
How can I put them together? Right. And I had maybe 2 or 3 people that kind of ended up in research lab roles, and I'm I would listen to what they used to do in that job position, and they're like, honestly, we just spend all day in a lab doing experiments and trying to figure out what would work for what.
But and so I think it's really, there's so much things, if you read a textbook, the textbooks that we studied in university or high school, someone worked hourlessly to find that information, discover that for you so that you can learn it. And so I think now that STEM is, it's such a cool field for people to look at or pursue, you get to be a part of that groundbreaking research or groundbreaking, these new technologies that are coming about. And I know even for students to feel liberated, who are very creative, but maybe not the typical they won't be that typical doctor or whatever staple career that most people talk about. That creativity is needed in the STEM industry right now. And so, as I said, I think it's really great that we're trying to promote that for our program, because these students who maybe have been streamlined and not really considered have this chance to show themselves, show that they are capable, and use their gifts, their talents right now to be a part of that change.
Yeah, no, for sure. I really like to speak to, on this show specifically, I like to speak to the high school students, because I find when you're in high school, you have no idea what you're doing. You're still trying to figure out, and for us, where we are at now in our lives, we've kind of had that experience, so we can see, okay, this is maybe what I could have done differently. This is what I could have added while I was in high school. This is the kind of information that I could have seek out, right? So I like to speak to the fact that when you were in high school, what were some of the projects that you worked on that kind of helped you when you were going into university, that you saw that there was like benefit to doing that?
Right. I have to think about that one. Yeah.
So for me, I think it wasn't a certain project, because I think, just like we're trying to do it differently, the educational system also, I think, is trying, or maybe should really consider evolving as well, right? So that students can, learn a little bit more than just that what that textbook's teaching them. So I didn't really feel like one of these projects at school inspired me or pushed me to this career that I'm pursuing, but it was the exposure. I worked with my biology teacher was also a family doctor and a OBGYN. So I spoke to her, I reached out and I said, hey, can I work at your clinic? Can I shadow you? And for like that semester into the summer months, I was working with her on Saturdays. So that exposure just like made me fall in love with the career, and I was just like, yes, this is for me. I love what she's doing. I know I don't really want to work with babies, but it was just the exposure that really pushed me. Yeah. So as I said, like you said too, the chance for students to kind of see what that professional is up to and what they do on their daily basis, I think gives a student, I think I like that stuff. I want to pursue that too.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I feel. I always say this, but I always feel that in grade 12, when they give you the option to do co-op, do the co-op.
Cool. Yeah.
Do co-op because it allows you the opportunity to again experience a job in the field. So sometimes a lot of the jobs that you think what you might be doing, what your responsibilities aren't what really it is that happens once you're there. You realize that there are a lot of different things that kind of go into it, the different people that you work with, and then it allows you to kind of garner that real world experience before you're just like, okay, you know what, now I need to go and get qualifications to do this job.
There needs to be more of that, especially for students that maybe they are shy. Like they shouldn't embed that in the actual curriculum, like co-ops, like all students from even grade 10 and 11, like, should be exposed more to those different fields, and not just the typical ones, but something changed, different.
I would even say before we go to break, like, there's that Take Your Kids to Work Day. Like,
I
feel
remember
like
that
should be a little bit different because sometimes your parents aren't in the career that you're looking to pursue.
Right.
I was like, well, what if you wanted to pick the person that you get to go to work with? Wouldn't that be cooler?
That would be, definitely.
For sure.
Especially in grade 9. Yeah. So we're gonna take another quick break. When we come back, we're gonna learn a little bit more about your organization and what it is that you guys do. So we'll be right back.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back. You're watching Real Talk. I'm your host, Alyssa Mahadeo, and I'm here every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. on the TCN network. Guys, thank you again for joining us. We're having some really great conversation today with Kimberly and Philippa about their chosen career paths, and a little bit about this organization that they kind of founded to help support and guide other students who are looking to get into the medical field or looking to pursue a career or head to medical school. And just so that they can see kind of what experiences are out there that they can have.
Right.
I think it's very, very, very important that with the next generation of kids, you don't just throw them into a career that they may or may not want to be in.
Right.
I feel like to be able to vocalize your thoughts, to really understand what you want, what your passions are, what your desires in life, what legacy you're trying to leave. What difference are you trying to make in the world? Right. That's kind of where I like to come from with a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And for you guys, where is it that you kind of wanted to go after what did you guys study specifically, like, in university?
I studied nursing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I graduated with a degree in kinesiology.
Okay.
And now I went back to York. There's a biochemistry program that allowed me to take some additional courses, so I'm enrolled in York right now.
Mm-hmm. Did you find you benefited from the kinesiology program?
So kinesiology is basically sports medicine, and I really enjoyed that. Okay. I had so much more hands-on labs and less, more physical, working with the body, and less, cellular biology or kind of more micro scale, looking at the body. So I think it was a different aspect of health that I appreciate that I was able to experience.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I know you were saying that you kind of wanted to be a surgeon.
Yeah.
Is that still something that you're looking to pursue?
That's an interesting question. Yes, for sure, but I'm also interested in other things that are also definitely health related. Mm-hmm. So now is just trying to figure out which route that I really want to go. Mm-hmm. But definitely surgeon is still in the run, for sure. Yeah.
What are some, because I know that there's so many different, there's so many diseases out there that you hear about now. Right. There's so many different, sicknesses, illnesses that people are dealing with. Have you or anyone close to you maybe had something that you were looking like, you know what, one day when I'm a doctor, I'd be able to put in the time or the research or the energy to see how I can help this person? Because you feel really, when you're not in a field kind of like that, you kind of feel really helpless. Mm-hmm. When you have people around you and you're just I don't even understand what's going on with you. And again, the doctor can only tell you really so much.
Right.
Right, because they run all these tests and all these blood tests, and you're like, oh my god, what's wrong with me? Right. Kind of thing. Do you guys have any of those experiences?
I think for me, just being sick and going to the hospital. Yeah. And just meeting people in general, because I go in and I see what the nurses are doing. I'm seeing what the doctors are doing. I'm like, this is what I want to do. But then you also see that there are room for improvement. Mm-hmm. And so then I'm like, I will want to be this, but I will want to add this to myself about more. So it will make me a different kind of practitioner. Mm-hmm. And then also just the things that are going on around me. If, for example, I'm very interested in policies. And, it's not until when you're actually involved with the health system that there's so much that needs to be done. Mm-hmm. So much. And so then I'm seeing that and I'm like, okay, I actually would love to fix this and improve this to better the quality of life for everybody and for my patients and stuff like that. And so then that actually is what triggered my interest in other fields, for sure. Mm-hmm. But it is through experiences like that I know I have an idea of what I want to do, not just be a doctor, but a doctor also doing something else that makes me stand out, makes me be a better practitioner for my patients, for sure.
No, and I definitely understand. we all go to the doctor. We all have our own family doctors, and I find that the care that you get from your family doctor opposed to the care that you get from a walk-in clinic, so vastly different, right? And I find that a lot of clinics could, you know, pay more attention to some of the patients that come in because while they might not be able to see their family doctor because their family doctor is just so busy, you still need the care and attention because something is wrong. That's why I'm here. Right?
Actually, it's so interesting you bring that up because I'm currently applying for medical schools, and one of the submission questions, it kind of touched on that topic of that patient-doctor interaction and how, you know, a patient is seeking, you know, and trusting that doctor to support or help them with their sickness, and sometimes a patient can feel like undermined or not really, like their sickness is not that big of a deal, and that patient, whatever, like the conversation between the doctor can be missed, or just like the type of relationship is not really there.
It's like they don't hear you.
Sometimes, yeah. So I think, I know, like I hope that I can always be mindful of that as, you know, a future doctor, that I wouldn't use my position to not be able to relate with my patients, because I might know all the knowledge and the science and stuff, but that's a human, right? And they have value, and they're more than their disease, or they're more than that sickness that they're coming in with. So how can I make them feel as that, right? So it's we need to learn that, because I know even in university, I think and as I said, STEM is a big thing. Like technology kind of makes us less personable, or the skills that it takes to communicate and connect with someone, we're losing that sometimes. We're losing touch with that. So even in medicine, we need to, when we're working with patients, we need to find a way to have a patient come in and feel like we really took care of them.
Yeah. I mean, I always say this, sometimes I say this to like people that I know, but I'm like, I always find that smart people don't, and when I say smart people, it sounds so bad, but when I say smart people, I mean people who have like done like a lot of study, and they're able to retain that information from the book to the T kind of thing. Those people kind of are sometimes emotionally unavailable, and when I say that, I mean it's that they can't connect with people socially, or they don't understand even what their own emotional needs are. And I find like that's really hard for people because they don't even see that themselves.
Yeah, I know.
But when you're only reading a book all day long, you know, and like you study countless hours and you're doing so much research, you don't really get to practice your social skills.
Yeah, you're like, let me like remember that these are real people that I'm talking to, not like a test dummy.
And it's just like some practitioners like to go by the book all the time, but then you also want to remember that the patient knows more than you do. They are actually the one going through it. And so just the fact that you're sitting in front of you, they're giving you all these symptoms, and you're just like, okay, no, then it has to be, okay, it has to be like colitis. No, but it probably isn't. So like, you know, listen to them really. I think that's like one of the main issues, that really listen and then be on the same level as them. Don't think, oh, I know more than what you're, you know, what you're saying.
And I noticed that I had an incredible doctor that I worked with. He's a pediatric cardiologist, which inspired me to pursue that specialty now. And he was so good at that, like connecting with his patients. And he was like, he had a relationship with some of these kids for like 10 plus years because they came in as a baby with this heart abnormality, and was walking through with that patient and their family throughout the whole like procedures and checkups and stuff. And he was so skilled in connecting with his patients, and I admired that, because it's not, you don't see that all the time.
It makes a difference.
Yeah, and I just think it's really important to just be aware of that. I mean, I know myself, I've been going to my doctor for it's probably like 27 years now, almost, maybe a little bit less. But no, it's less. It's like 19 years I've been going to him. But at the same time, when you go to him now, he's had so many patients now that he doesn't even have time to see you, because like you'll have an appointment at like 3 and he'll see you at like 8. And you're like, I've been here all day. But it's because he's so good at what he does. That's why. His patients stay there because they're very loyal people. That's the other thing. They will stay there and wait the time to see him, because they know that when they go into that office to talk to him, he's really going to listen to them. He's going to understand that
it's worth the wait.
I have a problem. I came here to see you, and I need you to help me get through it. So we're going to, before we get into a whole other conversation, because this time is flying today, we are going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we're actually really going to talk about the organization and how people can get some more information on maybe what it is that you guys do and the support and the guidance and the mentorship you guys are going to hope to offer through these programs. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, and you're watching Real Talk. I'm your host, Alyssa Mahadeo, and today we're having some really, really, really great conversations today on the show that we're almost forgetting what we're here to even talk about. But today on the show, specifically, we wanted to talk about the Black Physicians of Tomorrow, which, great name, by the way.
Thank you.
It's not too bold.
No, it's right to the point. It says exactly what you guys are trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate about that. Again, I feel like our generation is very direct.
Right.
We like, listen, that's what we're here to do. Like, my show's called Real Talk.
Right?
But specifically, I wanted to talk, I know that you guys started this in Durham. I think you kind of are trying to see how it's going to work out in Durham before we kind of branch out into the other cities. And who are some of the people that you're going to be working with, and what are some of the programs that you guys are going to offer through this?
So we are, focused on reaching the Durham area because there's a large amount of Black families, minority families that are moving up there, Ajax, Whitby in particular. And so we want to affiliate ourselves with whatever Durham-based community-run organizations already founded there. Particularly, we are working with Durham District School Board. They're not, I guess, a community-run organization, but they are within the schools, and we want to expose high school students to our program and raise awareness about our existence. And we also have discovered a lot of, interesting organizations like DBEN. They stand for Durham's Black Educators Network. Incredible organization, and what they're doing with students is remarkable. So we want to just, connect ourselves with the established communities in Durham region already, and support what they're doing, along with have them collaborate with us and connect students to us in referral basis. So, yeah.
What are some of the workshops that that you guys are going to be offered through the program, the organization?
Well, I guess ours is called the Life Skills Workshop.
Okay, I like that. I like this already.
Life Skills Workshop. Yeah, so I think what is different about us is we've chosen to take more of a holistic approach. So it's not just going to be academic based. Our Life Skills Workshop, it includes parents, the students, caregivers, everybody that will have, an influence in these students' life, and then informing them. So it could be anywhere from maybe applying to universities, financial literacy, self-esteem, and very different topics, because we do want to build a person where they're able to adapt to whatever environment that they're put in, and just be smart and wise about decisions in every areas of their life. So it's not just academics. It's like everything else that hopefully will address the issues that is being faced in the Black community, especially in our education, because there are different things. There's a lot of different things. Everyone has their reason why we don't see a lot of us in high profile jobs like people there. So that's what our workshop is doing, is to sort of attack every single those kind of barriers, and then
Because sometimes you forget, like, it's not just about my professional development, but my personal development, like what's going on in here. Right. So we hope that through the life skills workshops, we can build those things that, you know, a student needs to really face difficulties, because it's going to be a little bit more than just passing that class. It might be some hard stuff that you go through, and really prepare them for, you know, what's out there.
It's even just about taking care of yourself, because I'm sure that going to med school itself is a stressful concept.
Right? You know what? It's actually, you know, I think now that med schools understand mental health and the importance of it, like they're talking about that more. But I'm pretty sure like 10 years ago, that wasn't as considered as important, you know, and you have to be tough enough. Like, you know, you're a doctor, you should be, deal with it kind of thing.
Like doctors are real people too.
I know.
No, we're not. We're just
humans.
machines.
They're robots and stuff. So, yeah.
So mental health is a big thing, and we're definitely including that in our life skills workshops. And because we are focused in the Black community, we want to have, you know, Black History Month and have students really know about their history and understand, like, you know, don't think that the color of your skin means you have less opportunity. You have more rich history that you can look back at and see how far we've come, and just build up their confidence in who they are.
And so you said you guys are kind of connected with the school board. What kind of form are these workshops taking? Like, are we doing it through like a club medium, or are you guys going into the different classrooms and kind of speaking to the older students? What's going on there?
It's gonna be a location where every third Saturday, where we would invite guest speakers and then invite our students and your families to come in at that specific location, and then that's where the workshop will be taking place.
So hopefully it could be something like a school wants to like allow us to come in and then take their space, but we're probably going to like lead it just in an open space at a community center or wherever we can find, and have that one Saturday, as you said, a month to lead a workshop with the kids.
I mean, we know some people out in Durham too, and we know that like I know specifically that they would love to even hear about that if they don't already know about it. Because again, they're doing the same types of things. They've got different programs out there, and I love that. Like, I was out in Durham not for an interview, but for an event that was happening during the summer. And I was very surprised to see the amount of community organizations that are trying to work with the school board to give students these different programs and these opportunities, because these are things that students aren't normally exposed to. Like, I know when I was going to school, we rarely heard from outside organizations. It was kind of
Isn't
whatever.
That sad?
Yeah. I find that it was
there's so much support, but no one's aware of it.
And I always found that it was kind of just what was approved by the school board, what was in the curriculum. And it was never like, well, there's also this other organization that is working to help you, and we're working in addition to the school board to help you. And the fact that you're even bringing in parents, that's huge.
Yeah, because I think, you know, the parent is there with that student, or the caregiver is going to be there with that student when we're not. And so I hope that this type of environment that we're creating, that parents will feel like, oh, I'm actually going to be more invested in this like relationship with my child, and can support them in that way. Because, as I said, like it's a continuous thing. Like, we don't just have support when we go to a program. When we need that support at home, we need the support through our friends, like, you know. So, yeah.
What are some of your own life skills that you're looking to kind of pick up along the way now that you're kind of where you are at in your pursuit of this kind of career path?
I think for me, I've really built on my networking. So in university, going into university, I was so shy. Like, but through even creating this club and became now an organization, I've understood the power of networking, understanding like how to use LinkedIn and like other types of platforms like that to put yourself out there. Because really, especially as doctors, like, you have to know people, and it's not just for entrepreneurs but for everyone. I think you should have that skill of connecting with people and not being afraid to really just speak and communicate. So that was something that I've used or have developed over the years, and has really benefited from, you know, just getting so much more opportunities because I spoke and wasn't afraid to talk to someone or approach them. And it helped me also work on my confidence a little bit.
So definitely communication as well. You learn communication. I think for me it's also taking on this new role as a director. I think for me it's the leadership skills, because now you're leading, you know, people
are looking to you.
You're looking to,
like,
so you need to know your stuff, you know, and just knowing how to lead and always learning from that. Me understanding as a leader that I can also learn from, you know, I guess the students as well, and just knowing the position that I have, that I need to, I guess, act a certain way. Not that is going to undermine who I really am, but for the students to also see, oh, there's a, you know, a minority Black or a Black woman who is the leader, and this is how she is and stuff like that. I think I need to put, how do I say it? I need to
like you have, you have like a influence, maybe.
Influence, yeah, you have an influence.
People
right?
look up to you. That's
right,
kind of
so that's a
comes down
huge
to,
responsibility.
Yeah.
Right, that's huge. And I just hope that I will be a great leader and example for, you know, whoever I'm going to be leading, for sure.
That's great. I mean, I was able to meet, last 2 weekends ago, I was able to meet some students who received scholarships from the United Achievers Club here in Brampton.
Yeah.
And these kids are all like 17, 18. And so they've gotten scholarships to go into university. And when you hear about their life ambitions, you're just like, what was I doing when I was in high school? Because these guys are out there, they're like dreaming, you know, and they're pursuing those dreams.
Right.
And the things that they want to achieve in their lives and the contributions that they want to make to society are just so, so inspiring to know.
Right. That's amazing. And that's what we hope to see, students like that. Or we can even like support a student who's coming up through our program.
Right.
And like it's a privilege to be a part of a student's journey like that, to be like sitting with them or cheering them on as they are accomplishing those things. And especially, as I said, for people to be doing that who are so young and look like us, like I know their parents must be very proud.
So you said the classes are starting when?
So we have orientation, which is like a introduction to our program, and have the students connect with us and the parents interact with us as well. October 13th.
Okay, so like next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's coming up very soon.
Coming up very soon.
And then the classes or the tutoring aspect, the free tutoring will be the following Saturday. So
And where's the location again?
It's in Pickering, and it's called Sarah McDonald's Place. So it's a space that was donated to us, you know, so we're so grateful. For that. And we'll be running the program out of there for the tutoring component.
That's amazing. Girls, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your stories. Very appreciated. Very appreciative of that. Again, you know, on the show, we like to keep it real here. We like to make sure that everyone is kind of learning from life experience, because everyone is still learning. I'm still learning. Every time I do a new show, I learn.
Life is a journey. You're learning every day.
You don't
Exactly. But thank you again for coming on the show. If you guys are looking for more information on the Black Physicians of Tomorrow, I have put all of their links in the description box below. This video is on YouTube. It's on Facebook. So you guys can go rewatch. If you're looking for more information, you can reach out specifically. I'm sure these girls are willing to help you in any way that you need.
Absolutely.
So thank you again for watching the show. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you again next week, again right here on Real Talk.